Greetings, heavy metal lovers of all shapes, sizes, and varieties. In my first video, I reviewed the debut album from Christian metal icons, Tourniquet. So let's go one step deeper into the Tourniquet catalog. Put on your surgical gloves, grab your cranial saw, as we review Tourniquet's sophomore release, 1991's Psycho Surgery. I've heard it said that the debut album of a band is kind of like an introduction, a fine how do you do. But the sophomore release is most important because it determines if the band has staying power. It's like when you invite someone into your house for the first time in hopes of having a good time, and it's not bad, until you realize that they ate all your food, clogged your toilet, and your dog's missing. That's when you say, I don't think we're going to have them over anymore. A band's second album determines if you, the listener, wants to hang out with this band throughout their careers. And in my opinion, humbly, Tourniquet, by releasing Psycho Surgery, has proven that they are the house guest that brings food to your house, fixes your toilet, and gives your dog a treat and scratches his belly. Yes, Tourniquet, you can come over anytime you'd like. In Psycho Surgery, we have two additions to the band's lineup. A talented lead guitarist named Eric Mendez as a permanent replacement for the session musician Mark Lewis, and a man whose bass playing is as strong and as imposing as he is, Victor Macias. Now, in the last video, I talked about the Eric John James mystery. John James was listed and pictured in Stop the Bleeding as the bass player. But further in the liner notes, we find that Ted played bass for half the songs and Gary played bass for the other half. That means that my man over here, John James, apparently didn't play on Stop the Bleeding at all. This is a mystery, folks, and I am looking into it. I have questions. Was that the plan the whole time? Did something happen during the production or during the process that changed things? And most importantly, I'd like to know where Eric John James is today. Don't worry, fans. I'm going to keep digging. And Mr. John James, my brother, if by some odd chance you're watching this, I would love to hear from you. With the addition of Macias and Mendez, this is considered Tourniquet's classic lineup. After the release of this album, Tourniquet released a home video called Video Biopsy that, among other things, gave a dramatic and comedic reenactment of how these two new members were found and auditioned. My favorite, and probably the funniest thing to me, is how Victor kept repeating a signature line during the reenactment. Psycho Surgery was produced by Bill Matoyer of Metal Blade Records. Tourniquet had a sweet double distribution deal. Intense Records distributed to the Christian markets, and Metal Blade to the secular markets. And of course, crazy fans such as myself now have two CDs to buy, because there are differences.
We've got to celebrate our differences.
Let's get into the music, shall we? Track 1. Psycho Surgery. This album kicks off with the title track, right after a nifty little sound intro that makes you feel like you're listening to an orchestra warm-up at a fancy dinner party, and then that warm-up was invaded by Gary Lanier jamming on the guitar. In this song, the riffs are progressive and groovy as Lanier takes the helm, singing the verses, and Guy Ritter belts out those choruses. You'll notice that Guy has stepped away from his falsetto singing in this record, sans the outro of Broken Chromosomes. The drums kick hard and the guitars rock, and even more immaculate quality than the previous album. The guitars are engineered with a slightly deeper tone that gives the entire album more maturity, in my opinion. Lyrically, the song uses medical terms to illustrate the biblical principle of renewing your mind. Track 2, A Dog's Breakfast. This song, music by Lanier, lyrics by Ritter, has probably one of the coolest chugging heavy metal guitar riffs in the entire universe. Bravo, good sir. What a jam. And did you notice that gong in the background? Let's listen again. You are welcome for the repeat. Lyrically, the song takes aim at various religions and even preachers that hold controversial beliefs. A Dog's Breakfast shines light on them while using the Bible as the standard of living. Track 3, Viento Borrascoso, Devastating Wind. This is the instrumental on the album, and before the music starts comes an audio clip from a radio broadcast and some CB feeds, I'm guessing, from two of the most southern dudes you have ever heard. And here's the thing about that. It says that the tornado is just west of Cincinnati. I live just east of Cincinnati. I've never heard anyone around here talk like that. The music in this instrumental is fast and brutal, like a tornado. The drums hit hard, and the guitars ring out with a clarity that will make you want to soak in every note of the lead guitar work, courtesy of the new kid, Eric Mendez. A quick acoustic spot breaks away from the intensity for a moment with a lovely Spanish style that makes you think, oh, that's why this title is in Spanish. Lyrically, the song is nothing because there is no lyric. Track 4, Vitals Fading. This track keeps up with the metal right from the start. Again, Lanier starts off on vocals with a little help with one line en Espanol from Victor Macias. Yeah! Guy sings his parts of this song with a signature intensity, but with an uptick of passion and dramatic flair.
Body starts to shake it, violent burning triggers. This the crap that life is so very frail.
This is the shortest song on the record, coming in at 2 minutes and 46 seconds. But hey, a band that knows what it's doing, they're allowed to trim the fat every once in a while. Lyrically, the song speaks of the end of life and all of the sadness and emotion that come with it, but that no matter how bad things may seem, the Lord is always with you. Track 5, Spineless. We've heard of rap rock, but rap metal would be even more accurate description of this track. The rappers that they collaborated with was a group called Preachers in Disguise, or PID, if you're cool. I'll call them PID anyway. Ted Kirkpatrick said that this song was a lot of fun to make in the studio. Apparently Ted had his own lyrics already written for the rap segments of the song, but that PID wrote the lyrics on the fly in the studio. That's freestyling, as the kids say.
Schedule is tight, I gotta keep my stuff intact. Slack is whack, it's time out for the hack. Stripping up your back.
That's true, you know. Slack really is whack. After PID is done with their rap offering and some catchy scratching, the members of Tourniquet chime in with their own vocal parts. I definitely wouldn't call it rap, but Gary and Guy go back and forth, letting it rip with some fast-paced lyrics. Yeah! Lyrically, the song is about standing up for what's right and not backing down as Christians when you are faced with opposition, because after all, slack is whack. My absolute favorite part of this song is the extended outro. The music slows down to a melodic and meaningful riff, backed up by a powerful drum beat and a guitar solo by Gary Lanier. And guess what? They did not fade the song out this time. Gary was cooking, and they let Gary cook. They must have heard me from the future. Did we jump timelines? Track 6, Dysfunctional Domicile. Guy helms the vocals of this tune. Musically, the song stays true to form for the album, well-paced, with some slower segments to really allow the lyrics to shine. This song features yet another head-banging, chugging riff. Lyrically, the song is about neglectful parenting from the perspective of the children. It sends an important message to parents not to be so caught up in your own issues that your kids are shut out and neglected.
Yo, Dad, I got a question.
Can't you see I am filming a video? Track 7, Broken Chromosomes. Another well-known track from Psychosurgery is this soul-stirring number. This song brings us through a powerful, emotional journey spoken from the perspective of a person who has been rejected and marginalized by society. The lyrics hit hard as they open with someone at rock bottom calling out to God, not with hope, but in brokenness, as he says,
My God, if you can hear me now, see if your hand can reach this far.
We are then taken through this individual's story, from being neglected by family, ridiculed at school, and being utterly broken and afraid. At the midpoint of the song, he calls out to God once again, no longer from a place of brokenness and not yet with hope, but now with an understanding that God can deliver him from the hurt that man has brought his way. And for the breakdown, the music diminishes to keyboard pads with some soft bass setting the background for this character as we hear him cry out and speak directly to those who hurt him. And the music resumes with the triumphant cry, I'll get up. And perhaps one of the most emotional moments of this song that still gets me after all these years comes when Guy sings, this song ends with our character in a place of strength and hope, showing a night and day difference from the beginning of the song. Through this journey of emotion and hurt, our character realizes that God was with him, even in his darkest times. At the end of this track, we hear a reprisal of Guy's falsetto. And I've got to say, I really enjoy it here. It fits the mood, it fits the emotion of the song as our character crying out with a declaration of strength and victory. It really works. And with all of the written lyrics, I have found that it ends with the line, I've got no pain to pass on, which is the line that Guy sings before he switches to falsetto. So if anyone knows what Guy is singing as the song fades, drop it into the comments. Track 8, Stereotaxic Atrocities. This song could be considered part 2 of Tourniquet's series about animal abuse. Stylistically, it starts off differently than Arc of Suffering by coming in with a groove, even behind the sections of frenzied guitar licks. About halfway through the song comes an instrumental segment where they do a callback with some riffs from the first song about animal abuse, Arc of Suffering. And the song closes out with a ferocious lead from Eric Mendez. Lyrically, the song takes a look at another side of animal abuse as it focuses on the corruption and the money that people make from that industry. Track 9, Officium Defunctorum. This is a Latin term that translates to office of the dead. There's a beautiful classical music piece by the same name, and the Officium Defunctorum is a cycle of prayers in the Catholic, Anglican, and Lutheran churches that are read to honor the departed. Musically, Tourniquet takes a bite out of the doom metal playbook with a slower tempo, longer held out chords, and a lower tone. Lyrically, the song is extremely poetic and beautiful, bringing about solemn emotions as it makes you really think about the most meaningful sacrifice of all, that Jesus gave his life unto death for the atonement and salvation of your soul. When you listen to this song, please don't miss the meaning of these lyrics. They're beautiful. This song and the album Psychosurgery closes out with some exceptional lead guitar offerings from Lanier and Mendez. Rating. My rating of Tourniquet's sophomore release Psychosurgery is as follows. This release shows that the band has truly come together and are working as a unit. The addition of Victor Macias and Eric Mendez was spectacular as it brought two more talents with their own ideas to the table. The songwriting displays the band's talent, originality, and intelligence when it comes to music and lyrics. Also, the production quality, in my opinion, was cranked up to 11. That being said, I give Tourniquet's Psychosurgery 4.75 cranial saws out of 5. Here's the part where I beg. Would you consider subscribing to this channel? It doesn't cost you a thing, it only takes a second, and it helps this channel tremendously. What do you think, Victor? Should they subscribe?
Yeah, man.
Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you didn't like the video, hit the like button anyway as a statement of irony. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope to see you next time.